Hello everyone! Are you excited for the round of 16, or are you just chewing on the inside of your cheek throughout the day out of nervous excitement? No? Just me? By the way, I'm Adrian, and welcome to Rabona TV and World Cup Daily. Apparently, everything I post during the World Cup just gets funneled into a World Cup Daily. Today, I will be previewing the round of 16 matchups and throwing in a little cheeky prediction to boot. And just as a cherry on top of this prediction Sunday, I will be going head to head up against my greatest nemesis, a footballing genius that some of you may remember from last summer's Confederations Cup predictions videos. I can't stand him. You love him. It's Steve. So let's get started, and we'll be going in chronological order. And so let this serve as your match guide. So Saturday/today, we start out with France versus Argentina, and for me, this is a clash of the underperformers. On paper, this is easily the highlight as far as classic powers go. Thank you, Steve. We'll see you in a bit here. However, France looked lethargic throughout their group stage, just sort of coasting along with close one-goal victories over both Australia and Peru. The match against Australia was especially uninspired, getting their goals through a freak own goal and a penalty. Then, in their final group match, they were either happy to just get the draw or seemingly incapable of finding a goal with their talented but nonetheless fringe player-filled squad. Now, that weakness of looking uninspiring or that they are coasting may actually be a scary thing in the tournament, because if they start to click and their young, skilled, pacey team really comes into its own, then Argentina could be in big trouble here. Croatia completely exposed Argentina, as the South Americans had a non-existent midfield, lacked a killer's instinct up front, was spotty at best in defense, and you won't be seeing Willy Caballero starting for them anytime soon. Against Nigeria, they are close on numerous occasions to being eliminated, with Nigeria lacking some quality in the finish and perhaps a little unlucky not to have a penalty. But Rojo got the winner, and they leapfrogged the African team. So I personally think that despite France being not so great, they were still slightly better than Argentina and have a much better shape and an inkling of a game plan, no matter how ineffective it was at times in their first three matches. Messi is going to be revitalized for this one, but I don't think it will be enough. France through 2-1. Oh, and Steven, who you got? And on my word, we will release the cat. All right, ready? Let me just shake him up a little bit. Oh yeah, you like that? Now he's getting excited. Okay, here we go. And release the cat. Who's he gonna choose? Straight to Argentina. Very interesting call. Oh, hang on. Change of heart. Yeah, I think we're going to call that Argentina. Yep, that's an Argentina. All right, Argentina, chosen by the mouse. Well. Always the contrarian. I knew you had to go against me, Steven. You'll never be a Paul the Octopus. Let's hit the second matchup on Saturday as Portugal and Uruguay face off. Portugal started their tournament in exciting fashion, and Portuguese fans would be forgiven for thinking the team would play some more engrossing football than they did in Euro 2016. But besides the draw with Spain, Portugal has looked pretty boring and at times shocking. As a Portuguese fan, that performance against Morocco was one of the worst that I have ever seen from the team. Even Ronaldo was terrible, besides scoring the winning goal, of course. Against Iran, it was largely the same story. A pretty rotten performance in which the game plan was to counter, for the most part, with the only saving grace being a moment of brilliance from an individual, this time Quaresma. Uruguay, on the other hand, will not allow Portugal to sit deep and get comfortable to hit the counter as Portugal enjoy doing. No. The reason? That's Uruguay's game. They are the bunker ball kings who haven't conceded a single goal all tournament. Granted, two of their three opponents had pretty terrible tournaments. And Russia? Well, we'll get to them later. But Uruguay aren't just a stable back line, as their midfield is strong and they have two of the most dangerous strikers on the planet, Luis Suarez and Edinson Cavani. Suarez has scored in his last two matches, both of which he was my man of the match alongside Godin, while Cavani finally got one against Russia, which could be the straw that broke the camel's back, the proverbial camel's back. This one will likely be close, and as has been for the case for Portugal so far, if they get out of this one alive, it will be down to a couple of moments of brilliance, as their team play hasn't found itself yet. Uruguay is the heavy favorite, and I think that makes sense, but I can't bet against my country on principle, so I'm going to say Portugal 1-0 over Uruguay after extra time. It's not going to be the most exciting match, in my opinion. But Steven, which way do you sway? And I swear to God, if you bet against Portugal, release the cat. Let's see who he goes for this time. He likes that left-hand side and he goes for Portugal as well. My man, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, except, well, you're an animal, but. Oh, okay. Now, is that of your own volition, or are you just, choosing what I choose because you're a cat? Now to Sunday, as Spain takes on the hosts, Russia. Russia, of course, who wasn't fancy to get out of the group stage, started the tournament with a 5-goal slammer against Saudi Arabia and then smacked up Egypt 3-1. From there, however, they had a real test in facing Uruguay, and they were then the ones getting the smack up. Sure, they rotated some players, as did Uruguay, but they looked much less the dominant team that they appeared to be in their first 2 matches. They were a little bit exposed. That said, Spain hasn't exactly lit up this tournament either, after coming into it looking so good. The names on their team sheet, especially in the midfield, ridiculous. David Silva, Isco, Iniesta, Busquets, Thiago Alcantara, etc., etc. It's ridiculous. But Hierro hasn't really figured out which formation he likes, and it's affected the Spanish performances, the constant changes in shape and personnel. Koke started the first match, switched for Vasquez for the second, then switched again for Thiago in the third match. These kinds of things add more instability to an already strange start to the tournament with the dismissal of Lopetegui. Now, Russia has the benefit of the home support, yet that didn't seem to get them anywhere versus Uruguay. While Spain needed a last-minute equalizer against Morocco to salvage their unbeaten record, I think that their quality will come through against Russia for a 3-0 win. Knowing this tournament, however, anything can happen, really. Would I be surprised if Russia get it done? Nah. Okay, Steve, who you got? Let's place the silver bowls and see what the silver cat has to say. Release the cat. Spain, Russia, Spain. As always, goes to the left. Maybe he doesn't have any rhyme or reason as to how he chooses things. Wow. A bold boy. Second match Sunday. That has a nice ring to it. Continues the all-European tradition with Croatia going to battle against Denmark. The last time these two teams played was back in 2004 in a friendly that Croatia won 2-1. Completely different teams at the time, as both Denmark and Croatia are vastly improved footballing nations since that, especially in regards to Croatia. Croatia probably has the strongest team they have boasted since the golden generation from the 1998 World Cup that finished in 3rd place. Denmark has one of their best talents of all time in Christian Eriksen at the heart of things, and he got his World Cup started with a goal in Denmark's second match. Also, they will be boosted by the return of Yusuf Poulsen, the guy who scored the winner for Denmark in their opener. Also, their clean sheet record has been impressive in 2018. While they don't score much, only twice in the group stage, they concede even less. Croatia have definitely been the surprise of the tournament, or maybe not, because it's not a secret the talent that they boast with the likes of Mandzukic, Modric, Rakitic, Rebic, Perisic, Brozovic, etc. And in defense for Salko, Lovren, Vida, and Strinic, that's a stacked squad. And not only are they a great collection of talent, but they have been playing extremely well together, evidenced by their coasting to a 2-0 victory over Nigeria and their dismantling of Argentina. Then, while almost completely rotating their squad, besides I think Modric and Perisic, they still managed to get a 2-1 victory over Iceland, a team that was fighting for their lives. That's impressive. So, for all of these reasons, I think that Croatia will come out on top 3-1. They have a pretty nice route to the final as well, by the way, so watch out for them this tournament in general. So, Steven, you going to be watching out for them, or do you think the Danes will overcome? Is it Croatia? Is it Denmark? And release the cat. Who's he going for this time? Back to the left? Back to the left. Back to Croatia. So this cat definitely has some sort of instinct. What is his rhyme? What is his reason? I don't know. I like it. Good choice. Now let's move to Monday, where Mexico and Brazil will face off. Now, Brazil were my pick to win it all from the outset. And to be honest with you, I thought that they would look just a little bit better in the tournament so far. I've been disappointed by Gabriel Jesus as their striker, and I think that Firmino should be given the start versus Mexico. Will that happen though? It's not really looking like it. Switzerland did well to immobilize Brazil in their first match, but Mexico doesn't really have the makeup for that kind of tactic. What they do have is an excellent counterattack when the team is on it. Too often Layun and Chicharito are wasteful, shooting when they should pass, or in Chicharito's case, misplacing passes as if it's his top talent. To be honest with you, it's his most noticeable trait these days since his goal yield has dipped just a little bit. But back to my point about Mexico's counterattack, if they can find the form they were in versus Germany, then they should have a very strong chance against Brazil. However, Brazil will not be as tactically naive on the defensive end of things as Germany were, as Cheech has them defending quite well. Only 11 goals against from 18 matches in qualifying, and only Switzerland managed a goal against them in this World Cup. And it was a contentious one. Remember the push in the back on Miranda? Anyways, Brazil could possibly be without Marcelo, though Felipe Luis impressed when he filled in for the Brazilian. They're both Brazilian. Funnily enough, Marcelo's injury, back spasm, are believed to have been caused by the hotel mattress. He likes a double high mattress with goose down mattress topper. Why is that so hard to understand? Back spasms and mattresses aside, Layun hasn't impressed me much down Mexico's right, so Felipe Luis or Marcelo could handle him just fine. I think that Mexico is going to put up an amazing fight, and I'd love to see them take down another tournament favorite, but this Brazilian team is far too good, is coming into their own at the right time, and that only spells trouble for Mexico. Plus, their collapse versus Sweden really exposed some weaknesses in Mexico's back line. 3-1 Brazil. Estevan, you prefer Mexico or Brazil? Who you got, buddy? Brazil versus Mexico. You ready? Here we go. We're gonna place the bowls. Shake them up. The cat is ready to eat. And release. Does he go left again? He goes left every damn time. Come on. Belgium. A lot of people's tournament favorite will be taking on Japan on the harder side of the tournament. I stress those air quotations, by the way, as it won't be easy no matter which side you play on. Now, Belgium finished with a perfect 3 wins from 3 record, while Japan slipped through by the absolute skin of their teeth, just holding out for a draw and advancing due to fair play points instead of Senegal. Rough. Now, Japan proved against Senegal and Colombia that they can play, as they rested almost their entire starting lineup against Poland on the final match day, which was bizarre to me, but maybe a genius stroke from their coach. I don't know. But when they do incorporate players like Osako, Kagawa, and have Honda enter in the second half, Japan do threaten. Now, how will these guys do up against a Belgian backline featuring the likes of Vertonghen, Boyata? And how will Japan's backline stack up against the attacking powerhouse that is Belgium? Lukaku has been scoring, as he's tied with Ronaldo on 4 goals. Hazard has been banging them in. 2. Mertens has looked threatening, and of course notched against Panama. And their midfield of De Bruyne and Witsel has looked good. Not to mention the Ent that they have in goal, T-Boner. I don't think I really need to convince anybody at how strong the Belgium squad is. Now, their problem in the past has been that they haven't had a game plan at all. While Roberto Martinez hasn't really proven anything yet as the Belgium manager, you would think that he's an upgrade on Mark Wilmots. In fact, in the 22 games he's been in charge, he's only lost once. And he won't lose to Japan. Belgium to take it 4-1. Okay, Steve, do your thing. Eat the stuff, choose the team. Let's see how he does with this one. Belgium, Japan. Now, of course, Adrian chose Belgium. Who will the cat choose this time? Does he go Japan? Does he go Belgium? Which one? He sticks with Belgium. Wow. A bold move. He changed it up so you can tell that he is not just going left every time. He actually has some sort of instincts. We're almost there. It's Tuesday time, and the first match to be played on Tuesday morning, well, morning for me at least, is Sweden versus Switzerland. This match is the most disappointing for me. No, I don't hate either of these teams. I actually have a lot of respect for them, but I just hate seeing 2 European teams get matched up to begin with. And then to have 2 European teams get matched up that are so similar, it's annoying. But hey, what can you do, right? Can't fault the teams for who they get paired up with. Now, I was reading some comments on an article and somebody said that Switzerland is basically just a better Sweden. And while that statement is a bit of a stretch and it discredits Sweden a little bit too much for me, it's not too far off. They are similar teams in their physicality and their penchant for absorbing pressure and scoring somewhat against the run of play. And, as that comment would suggest, Switzerland does have a few more skilled or flair players, for lack of a better term. I'm talking about guys like Mbolo, Shaqiri, Gemaili, etc. Xhaka. The Swiss have won 9 and lost once in qualifying, and they had 2 draws and a win in the group stage. Sweden, in qualifying they finished ahead of the Netherlands, then beat Italy in the playoffs and topped their group ahead of Mexico, Korea, and Germany. Impressive, to say the least. So, I can't really see this one being a goals fest, but I mean, hey, it might be. Stranger things have happened at this World Cup. That said, having seen a lot of Switzerland in qualifying, same group as Portugal, that's why, I think they're the ones destined for the quarterfinals. 1-1 with Switzerland getting the 2-1 win after extra time. Whew! So Steve, do you agree with me or what? Sweden, Switzerland. We will remove the cat from the premises. We place the bulls, we shake them up, and we release the cat. Who will he choose? Will he go back to the left? Will he go back to the right? Who's it going to be? Switzerland, Sweden. To the left, and it's Sweden. According to the cat, it's Sweden, not Switzerland. And last, but definitely not least, as I'm quite looking forward to this matchup, we have England versus Colombia. Now, throughout this World Cup, it has been hard to get a handle on how good England is. I'm not going to jump to them being incredible, nor will I hate on them and doubt them just because it's England, because that's not fair. I genuinely think they have a decent starting 11, and if they start to finish more of their chances, they could be on a roll. I know that sounds weird to say considering they drubbed Panama, but in the matches against Tunisia and Belgium, there were some glaring misses. They won't be able to afford that against Colombia. But with the likelihood of James playing against England sort of up in the air at the moment as he is getting an MRI scan on his calf injury, Colombia's fates could be reliant on the Bayern Munich playmaker. When they started without him in the match against Japan, Colombia didn't look great. And when they played without him in the match against Senegal, they looked pretty shaky at times in the attack, lacking a killer ball for Cuadrado or Falcao to run onto. Now, if you look at their performance versus Poland, in which James controlled the game, and almost every Colombia attack looked capable of putting the Poles to the sword. So, England's chances will improve if James doesn't play, but the threat isn't completely gone without him, as Quintero has proven his worth throughout this tournament. Now, Quintero and James together? Yikes. But England have their own bad boy as well in Harry Kane, who's leading the charge with 5 goals from just 2 appearances. That's decent form, lucky 5th goal or not. If this was the Colombia team from 2014, I would be more fearful for England. However, it isn't quite that. And I think it will be a really close match. 2-2 with England taking it in a shootout. For once! There's my bold prediction of this round. England is going to win a shootout. Okay, Stephen, for the last time, who you got? England or Colombia? Which way do you swing? The cat, he's wiggling, he's hungry. We place the balls, and we release the cat. Who does he go for this time? Is it back to the left? Is he not interested in the food at all, maybe? No, it seems like he might want to leave and he's had enough of this. Who could blame him? Really? No? Back to the left? Or maybe the right? He takes a look. It's Colombia. It's Colombia for him. Well, with that means Steven has chosen Argentina, Portugal, Brazil, Belgium, Croatia, Sweden, Colombia, and Russia. Whereas me, I've chosen Portugal, France, Brazil, Belgium, Spain, Croatia, Switzerland, and England. Who's right? Me or Steven? Neither of us probably, so who do you have going through? You gotta let me know in the comment section so we can discuss. And hey, if you're new around here and enjoyed the video and want daily content, sometimes twice daily, like today, then hit that subscribe button. Besides that, thanks so much for taking the time to watch and enjoy the matches. Later!